Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm reading out loud my Rice University writing supplements from 5 years ago. These essays were accepted into the school and also won over $100,000 in scholarships. So I kind of want to show you what worked, what didn't work, some sample essays, some sample structure, and kind of make it easier for you to write your own college essays. And these are pretty general essay prompts that show up a lot. So hopefully they'll be applicable to whatever school you're applying to, not just Rice University. So let's get started. Please briefly elaborate on one of your extracurricular activities or work experience. It's only 150 words. During last summer's 8-week internship at Georgetown University's Donahue Neuroscience Laboratory, I conducted MaxiPrep, stained brain tissue samples with fluorescent antibodies, and analyzed abnormal cell structures under a microscope using complex image processing software. Every morning, I would genotype mice using gel electrophoresis and polymerase chain reactions. Delving deeper into transgenic technology and transfection techniques encouraged me to read primary articles from my mentor's neuroscience reading list. On Fridays, I shared insights with those articles and presented my results. Thanks to my mentor's rule, repeat all failed experiments, I often left the lab at 7 p.m., but my great experience with careful reading and scientific writing stayed with me throughout the school year for projects on anthropology, applied mathematics, and biochemistry. I was thrilled when the American Academy of Neurology recognized my final project, which compared mouse and frog transcription factors among the top 15 neuroscience projects in the country. So you can see that this is this is a prompt about a work experience or extracurricular activity, and I kind of wanted to mention an internship that I did and a research project. And the reason why I mentioned this is because this was a pretty significant part of my application and resulted in a lot of different projects that I worked on, and most notably a project that I was able to submit to this organization, as well as Siemens Science Fair and a couple of other projects. And so this was a pretty significant part of my application, and my goal was to try to include as much details as possible in 150 words. And if I'm looking back on it and kind of reflecting on what worked, what didn't work, and things like that, maybe something I could have used to improve this is focus a little bit more on a narrative that would weave together all these details. Just because I included a lot of details about the project and the experiences that I was doing that might not be familiar to somebody who doesn't know all these terms. And so it could kind of be a little bit boring or dry. And even somebody who does know all these terms, it could be pretty boring and dry. And so rather than using all these terms, I could kind of weave a narrative about my experience and what I learned and kind of like share my interest in neuroscience as a result of this project. But overall, it's really difficult to do that within 150 words. So I decided to kind of play it safe and just describe my experience, describe my project, and share the things that I worked on during that time. And that was my essay. All right, second essay. With the understanding that the choice of the academic school you indicated is not binding, explain why you are applying to that particular school of study. So I wanted to study biology at the School of Natural Science. So I mentioned that. I want to major in biochemistry and cell biology and minor in neuroscience at Rice's School of Natural Science. I find it genuinely astonishing that sublime feelings are rooted in the simple firing of neurotransmitters and DNA tidbits. Courses that particularly interest me are cognitive neuroscience and neurolinguistics. I want to join evolutionary biologist Julia Saltz in her research that compared two types of behavioral plasticity to determine why larvae were attracted and repelled from particular odors. I can draw numerous parallels to my own independent project in AP Biology, in which I developed an experimental design on how pre- and post-mating status at Drosophila melanogaster may contribute to this lifespan in a controlled environment with limited resources. I will also serve younger students by partaking in Brainstem and collaborating with members of UT Health, GSBS, and MD Anderson to teach brain anatomy and conduct mini demonstration experiments. So my goal here was to try to explain as many specific details about what I would take advantage of at Rice University. And the cool thing is that when you're sharing what is attractive to you at a particular school or at a particular school of study, you're actually sharing a lot more about yourself as well. By sharing kind of what classes are interesting to me, I'm mentioning that these are interesting topics to me. And by sharing, kind of like the researchers I want to work with, I'm also sharing my past research project. And so a good tip that when I'm editing essays from other students is that something that I notice is that a lot of people kind of list things about the school or the college that they're applying to without mentioning the things that make those attributes interesting to them as people. And so I'll see students who mention, like, I think that the campus is really beautiful. I think that the dorms are really nice. I think that this professor is really cool. I think that this project is really cool. I think that these classes are pretty cool. But nowhere in the essay did they mention anything about themselves that make it understandable about why those classes or projects or professors are interesting to them. And so you kind of want to sprinkle a little bit of your own personality or your own projects that you've worked on that connect why classes are interesting or why professor projects are interesting, things like that. And I know it's always difficult when you have a shorter word limit, but that's kind of the goal here. All right, last essay prompt. It's pretty exciting. Is how did you first learn about Rice University and what motivated you to apply? And this is a little bit longer. And this one is in my sophomore year, three of my debate friends found their home at Rice. Over the summer break, I talked to my research mentor about my college applications, and she mentioned at length the numerous research opportunities at Rice. Since then, I've extensively researched and been amazed by the learning opportunities and ambience at Rice. Rice's emphasis on experiential learning would advance my career goals in medicine and patient advocacy. Rice students significantly improved patient lives and medical technologies in places like Malawi, Brazil, Qatar through Rice 360 Degrees International Institute for Global Health. At Rice, I would partake in beyond traditional borders to enhance my knowledge of health technology. Moreover, proximity to Texas Medical Center and MD Anderson Cancer Center would provide clinical research and shadowing opportunities to observe the critical patient-doctor relationship. Furthermore, the vibrant student body and the body's unbridled enthusiasm about school culture would make my college experience exciting. Rice's Forensic Society would provide an excellent opportunity to enhance my debate skills. As an avid dancer who's performed at Indian weddings, I would enjoy being a part of Rice Bollywood dance team. Friends from my high school at Rice would tell me that small class sizes allow intimacy with faculty, which fosters a relaxed and productive environment. The residential college nurtures a closely knit, egalitarian community of friends and professors. I know I will find my place academically and culturally. So that was kind of my how did you learn about Rice and what motivated you to apply. And you can notice that the significant emphasis here is about what motivated you to apply, because this is what the bulk of the writing comes to, which is that, I'm really interested in these things and I've done my research on what rice is. And, they're also concerned that they're not accepting people who have no idea what rice is or who are just applying for the sake of applying. They want to accept people who know a lot about their school and who've really thought about their decision to go to rice. So that's my sort of an interesting why rice essay. And I think it was pretty cool that they asked, why do you want to go to this specific school of natural science? And then they asked why rice in a different prompt. So it's kind of like a different way than most schools in terms of asking the why us question, because it was kind of broken down into two parts. And those are my rice essays. I hope you found that helpful. Some sample essays, some feedback, some things that I would change if I were writing it now. And if you want to ask any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments down below, and I'll be happy to get back to you. If you want professional essay editing, then I'm also happy to offer that. They'll be somewhere down below as well. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye, everybody. Hope this was helpful.